Hello, I'm Brianna, and welcome to my Life on Paper, where I use paper and pictures to tell my story. Welcome back to Series 15 of Christy's Beautiful Life in her 30 Days of Sketches. Today's sketch is by Ti Kaheiki, and she is document.aloha on Instagram, and I will have that listed below. I went into my themed stash, and I got out my New Year's. Now I'm getting down to the end of these papers. Um, yeah, so I'm kind of going between just kind of use what you have or get some more New Year's paper. So we'll see how my New Year's pictures going forward go. But anyway, I'm going to take this photo that is 4x6 horizontal, and I will make it a 3x4. And the reason I kept this in here, I mean, I do a lot of this where I will trim off a little bit from one side and trim off a little bit from the other. I don't want to take somebody's ear off, but I don't want some other space hanging on the other side. So this one is, I believe, a 5x4, so I'm doing the same thing and leaving it 4 inches wide, but taking a little bit off the top and bottom. And that allows me to get the most picture, or the best part of the picture, in what I have left here. I take these scraps. Now these are going to look a little bit different than what is in the sketch, but because it's what I have left, I am super glad to be using them. I'm going to lay out my pictures, and I'm going to figure out where I can cut this pattern paper down so that I can extend it on the bottom. I'm also thinking of what do I want on the left hand side, because she's got that fun like scripty scallopy border. So I'm kind of on the lookout for what can I use for that. As I don't really, I thought about like a punch, like a border punch. I could have gotten out white paper and did that, but I will find a sticker border that I'm going to use. I have just this little bit of paper left of this pattern paper, so I grab out my circle punch and I get 3 out, complete circles. I thought I was going to have to do some tucking and stuff. This is a Creative Memories border sticker, and it is like a New Year's Eve set, and so I'm going to use the confetti as kind of my, not scallop border, but the, funky border. So I'm going to move this all over, and again, my dimensions are not the same as the sketch, but that's the paper I've left out, and I want to take up the same amount of real estate on the page, so I left them like this. That is an Ancient Creative Memories corner rounder, and it was on my desk, so I used it. The corners are rounded on the sketch, and then here you see, like, I just make a little nick with my scissors. I'm going to fold it in half because you're not going to see this at all, and I'll just tear it, and then I will stretch it apart. Now that looks funny if you just put a thin border over the top, because the clock is like an oblong shape now, but with the photos going over the top, I don't even think you see any of that clock there, so it's fine. So right now I'm probably just making sure things are lined up. Like, really do look at the grid on the back of that I'm scrapbooking on to kind of keep things lined up without having to grab a ruler out. And then I will get that background page adhered down. I think I've said this a million times, but I have an iris container of just like black and white papers, and that's where the background page came from. And I don't often do borders when someone even when someone has them on the sketch, but I did like this like little design just going around the whole page, and then too it brings it all in so that I have these smaller pieces of scraps, so it takes up more real estate than if you do a little frame. And I really like the look of the strips going over the entire page and not just the inside of the frame, so that's cool. And I wanted to get that circle down because I knew it was going to go underneath the border, and I don't get this exactly straight. It's kind of interesting. So I get the first part down, realize it's not going to cover up the black, because I wanted it all like overlapping onto the polka dot paper, but by just moving the top, because I did rip it a little bit, just moving the top, it kind of bent it a little bit, and I don't think because of the funkiness of the border, you can't really tell that it's crooked or not straight. So here I do a lot of figuring out, like, where am I going to put this picture, and I think it might move a little bit after that, but I'll lay that one down first, and then I'll get this one down. There we go, I think. Oops, see, I did. I pulled it up. Does it matter exactly where it goes? Not always, and I think it ends up back down there anyway. I'm not exactly sure what I was looking at when I was moving it up and down, but there we go. And mine is, because my middle paper is bigger, uh, um, again, the proportions aren't the same, but that's okay. Then I decided I want a little bit of lift on here, so I will lift that up with some foam tape. It is still tucked under the sticker, so it won't give it, the whole thing isn't popped up, but the one side is. And I'll do the same thing to that round embellishment there with the foam tape, as well as that one there. Up until this point, I wasn't sure what my title was going to be. There was some pattern paper that said something about like celebrate the new year. It was just a little bit too big and too dark. So I have a couple of choices here. I have that sticker that says celebrate, but then I find this journaling card that says the best is yet to come. And I figure, when is a better time to use a title like that than New Year's Eve, New Year's Day kind of thing. So I did trim that down to like a 3x3 size, but I also have this other embellishment to the left that you'll see me bring in. That is a Creative Memories piece, and it's just another layering piece that kind of helps that title to stand out a little bit. It's not, a different color, it's a nice light gray, but it was just something rather than me framing the whole title, that kind of gives it a little bit of a, I don't want to say pop, because it's not even really a pop, but it helps it stand out. I think these are Paper Studio stickers. I've had them in my stash for quite a while, and they have a little bit of gold on them, and so I just use this as just a little bit of an extra embellishment. um and then I'll add this other gold one over on the other side, and I do have some, they're not enamel dots, but they're gold dots, and so I just thought I would bring those in for a little um more gold. uh Love this as part of that sticker sheet. And then once I get those on, I'm going to use black Nuvo drops, and I wanted to try really hard. I've made some Mickey heads with these lately, so like a enamel dot in two little spots. So I want to make sure not to make them look like they were placed like Mickey heads, and that, down the road probably wouldn't have even looked like that. But because I had just done the 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 enamel dot with two dots on either side of the head, I didn't want to do that. So this is Hello 2024. It was from Ellie's Studio, but it said Hello. I think it was whatever year it came out, probably 2022. And so I just took some stickers from the Creative Memory pack and put those over. I'm going to use these arrows from my stash. The one on the left is a sticker. The one on the top is from the Cricut. They both match very nice with the layout. And then I've got just some things laying on my desk, and this was perfect. It's gray, and it's that, is it it's not chevron, is it chevron? But the jagged edge, and I thought, well, there's extra room on this side, right? So I just put that for a little bit of extra interest there, and then I'm just going to trim it down a little bit. And one more thing off my desk and out of my stash, so that always puts a smile on my face. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you have a fabulous day, and please come back and see me again soon.